evening, afternoon, morning, and night to everyone who's watching this video. Me and my friends have gathered together a few test runs that we did with the new Destiny patch, and hopefully you guys find it informative and notice anything that maybe we didn't notice, or notice anything that we've also noticed. Um, all right. So, see, the first thing that we tested out was the no HUDs when blinking around, which is pretty impactful since you lose your HUD for 3 seconds, and that could cost you a match or a game, in the long run. Next, that we quickly tested out, which was the truth rockets. Sure, the ammo was reduced also, but we feel as if the blast radius was also reduced. Me, it's me surviving that blast, or me taking not as much damage in this blast right here. Next, we looked at was the Blade Dancer's health regeneration, which did take a major hit. It's only going to be healing chunks of health instead of the whole thing like it used to. So that's actually going to be pretty impactful, considering that Hungering Blade is very used often. So PvP players will suffer from that. Next, we tested out the Blind Perdition to see how the pulse rifles would do, and it can no longer 3 burst. Along with the Clever Dragon that we've also tested. Well, I didn't have it with me, so we had somebody else test it on me to get the results. So that was minimalized, but we didn't do much of that. And next, we just did the Juggernaut running shield, the jellyfish-looking thing. It did take a huge hit, that one as well. Taking a huge hit in the air, so anytime you spend in the air will reduce the amount of time that you have it for. That's the unfortunate part. One of the good thing is that when you're on the ground completely, it will not be touched at all. It will actually just stay as useful as it was before the patch. And next we have up is, of course, the shotguns, Matador, and whatnot. We have Matador with a reinforced barrel and rangefinder, followed by a second Matador with slightly more impact, excuse me, followed by Chaperone, of course, also maxed out range. Universal Remote comes next, maxed out range, and then Lord of Wolves. Unfortunately, the Lord of Wolves that I had was not fully leveled up and was not maxed out range at the time of testing. So the numbers might be different if you add more range and impact. With the Matador, with rangefinder and reinforced barrel, you see that it's still able to pack a punch, even though it only takes up to half. Same thing with the one with slightly more impact. It's not really much noticeable though. Followed by the Chaperone, we have significant amount of damage, considering you have to aim for the head in order to achieve that sort of damage. There's no real damage fallout until you hit a later on point, which comes into play at this point right here. And yeah, that's this over here is basically the true fallout point where you don't receive a single drop of damage. Next, Universal Remote with the maxed out range, of course. As you can see, it's not as potent as it used to be, but it's still capable of hitting hard. Next, Lord of Wolves, of course. This gun varies actually on where you hit. If you hit all headshots, you could potentially kill your opponent. If you don't, well, you could still tag them in the body and still do major damage. The damage fallout of this gun is right here at this point. Next, we have tested out was the Stormcaller Amplitude. This is without Amplitude, of course. Next, with Amplitude, and it isn't until we hit a certain point, and by certain point I mean this point right here, is where we actually do damage, as you can see. And now we tested out really quick the Invective to see how good it was and how consistent it was. Unfortunately, it was pretty inconsistent. As you can see, we did a full auto right there from that range, but whenever we did one-shot pellets, we would always get a mixed result. So, but just a heads up, you'll be seeing that gun a lot in the Crucible. Next we tested up was Stormcaller. Of course, I heard about if you had landfall on, your super would drain a whole lot faster if it was Transcendence, regardless of it, whether or not you had Transcendence on or not. And I went ahead and tested that out With this one, I made it up to 16 seconds. Solid 16 seconds. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments if you guys want, if you see that I'm wrong, because numbers aren't exactly my strong suit. And then I tried doing it without landfall. So I got rid of my impossible machines and just went ahead and popped my super. Unfortunately, I was unable to get a clear estimate of how long my super can last because I was shut down by a tether. And I only recorded up to 12 seconds, though I did have a substantial amount of super energy left, even though I was killed. Checking down, had a quarter of my energy left. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this entire video, and please tell me if you guys found it informative at all. It was just a quick, short thing, but I hope you guys really did enjoy it, and go ahead and share if you want. If you think other people will find this informative just as much. I know we didn't cover everything in the patch notes on this video. It was just a quick reference to show you guys what the patch was, what it did. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and hope you all have a good morning, evening, afternoon, or night, wherever you are in the world. Bye, everyone.